Hello guys, in our last tutorial we talked about getting directions. In this tutorial we're looking at how we're going to create a 3D, 2D switching like this. So once you click a 2D, it switch. Once you click a 3D, it switch. Alright, stay tuned. Hello guys. So in our last tutorial we looked at how to get directions and direction descriptions. So in our last tutorial that's what we did. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to switch between 2D and 3D on the map. So right now, when we zoom in, we have a 3D view. So we just want something that we could switch between 2D and 3D. So right now we have our 3D map. We want to switch between 2D and 3D. So how are we going to do that? So it's simple. So we go to our code. We're going to create a fresh new file. So let's create a fresh new file. Let's call it controls.html. Let's just create a control file so that, and then let's say control.js. So with the control.js, the first thing we need is let's just grab our init map and use some default manually coded coordinates. If you want to look at how we get coordinates from database and the content from database, you check out my previous videos. But if you're watching this, please, I need you to subscribe and like the video, and you can share to your friends that are map enthusiasts like yourself. So the next thing we're going to do is now we have our map. Let's grab everything about creating the map. So let's grab this and this. So map ID. Great. We have our tilt. So tilt is what is giving us a 3D. Now we have our map. Let's call our init map. We don't want all of these. Okay, so let's go to control.html. Let's say HTML5. Let's say control maps. Next thing we want is let's go back to our code and grab some few stuff. So let's just grab the head, grab the head, and what can we grab again? Let's drag just grab this. And let's grab the bootstrap. Let's grab the Google Maps API. jQuery. Let's grab jQuery. We don't need we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need that. So let's just grab the maps. Just grab these. Go to our controls. Let's paste them in. Let's change this to control.js. Okay. So let's just get rid of these two. So we have, let's look at our control HTML. Great. So we have this too. Next thing we need to grab is let's grab a few stuff. Let's grab our CSS. Let's grab our CSS and our map CSS. Refresh our page. Okay. So we have our map. we have an empty map. All right. So this is what we have. This is a 3D map that we have. So by default, let's zoom in a bit. This is 15. Let's make it 18. Okay. So we get to our 3D version directly. Great. So this is where we have our 3D map. We can zoom in further. Let's make it 19. Great. So we have our map. Everything is working fine. The next thing we want to do is we want to add a 2D, 3D button. We need to add a button. When we click, it switch between 2D. When we click, it gets back to 3D. So what we're going to do is let's go to our controls. Let's come to our buttons. Let's come to our phone. This. Let's try to put a button here. So let's just grab this button. Just grab this and put it here. Say, let's see what happens. Remove this. Okay, so we see we have our 3D button, so I think that's good. Let's just give it space. So two, just say two. Okay. So we give it a bit of a margin at least. The next thing we're going to do is when we click on this button, we want to get something. So let's say type this button. Okay, so type this button. Great. So to switch between 2D and 3D, first we need to give it an ID that we will use our jQuery to listen to. So to give it an ID, let's just say ID is what switch view. Okay, let's give it an idea of a switch view. Inside, we can't just say 3D. So let's just open it. Inside, we're going to have a span. Okay, we're going to have a span. And inside the span, also, we're going to have a div, and the div is going to contain a span of 2D and 3D. Okay, so we're going to be switching between those two. So let's just give it some random classes. So let's just say give it any class that you want. Okay, give it any class that you want. So let's just say uh, dimension. So let's just say dimension. 3 dimension or the 2 dimension. Let's just give it another. Just add another one. Let's call it straight. Give it a random variables. Okay, you can change the variables as you want. Inside here, we're going to have a span. Let's just give it a span. Call it 2D. Okay. So class, call it 2D, and let's give it a class of show. Okay. And inside, let's give it 2D. Great. Now we give it 2D. What else are we going to do? So let's go out and create another one. Maybe we might use it, maybe we might not. So let's just create it. And let's say this is class of 3D. Let's give it an active. And let's not show it. Okay, so display none. Okay, because at the beginning the map is going to be 3D. Okay, at the beginning the map is going to be 3D. So if the map is 3D, we don't need to show 3D, we need to show 2D. So when they click on 2D, then it switches back to 3D. Okay, so we don't show it 3D. And inside here, we say 3D. What do? Once we have this, let's go to our JavaScript and let's do some JavaScript. All right. So let's go to our controlled. And inside here, let's say handle switch. The handle switch, the first thing we need to grab is to listen to a click, jQuery click. Selector is our ID of our switch view. Okay. Let's just go and grab it just so we don't make any mistakes. So this is the button that we want to click. Switch view, we copy it, we paste it here. Switch view. Once we click switch view, let's just see if we have our switch view working. So let's just say alert message. Okay. Save it. Now it's 2D. Okay. So by default, the map is in 3D. When you click 2D, then it's changed to 2D. Then this text 2D changes to 3D. When you click 3D, it goes back to 2D and so forth. So next thing we're going to, now we have it. Now let's grab the active. Which one is active? Okay. So the first thing we need to grab is, let's just say, let's create a variable. Let's call it active. Okay. Let active is equal to, let's say jQuery text get, and we say straight. Just grab this. Just grab them directly. Grab these two. Okay. So let's grab these two. Straight dot dimension. Straight dot dimension dot text. Okay. Now let's see. Let's alert the activeness and let's see. Let the active. Let's refresh this and let's see what is happening. So let's grab this, and it's saying 2D, 3D. Okay, it's saying 2D, 3D. So what do we do? So let's go back. So we have 2D, we have 3D. So let's get rid of this for now. Just cut it out. Let's cut the 3D out, okay? And let's just put it somewhere here. Okay. So let's just put it inside here. Right. And let's refresh our page. And let's click this. Now we have 2D, okay? We have, when you click, we get 2D. Okay. Let's see what we can do with 2D. Now, if active is equal to, let's check for 3D first. So if it's equal to 3D, map.set tilt, map.set tilt. So we set our tilt to 52, right? And we close it. And then once it is 3D, once the text inside is 3D, when we click on it, it means that we are switching from 2D to 3D. So we need to change our text to 2D. So this text that we grabbed, we'll just copy it and then back. And in here, we would say 2D, right? Okay. If it's 3D, else means it's 2D, right? So we do the same. We grab this, you replace it here. We say this is 0, and we say this is 3D. Okay. Now let's refresh it. Great. So we have our 3D map. When we click on 2D, we expect this map to go to 2D. So now the map is 2D right now. So when we click the first time, this is what is going to run. So right now the map tilde by default is set to 52. Okay. So once we click on 2D, this is the block that is going to run, and it's going to set the tilde from 52 to 0. So the map is going to be flat, and then it's going to change the text inside to 3D. So let's check it out. Boom. All right. You've seen it. Now it's changed the text to 3D. And now when we click it again, this is what is going to run. Now, if this is going to run, the set tilt is now 0. It's going to switch back to 52, and it's going to change the text to 2D. So when we click on it, boom, click on it. So this is how you switch between 2D and 3D. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the 2D from this side and bring it right here. Okay. So it looks a bit professional and nice. So let's go back to our code. And we're going to use the map controls to get that. So we're going to say map dot controls. And we open our object and we say Google dot maps dot control position dot right. So we want to put it at the right side and not the center. Okay, dot right center. Okay, dot right center dot push. Okay, dot push. So this is our style. This is the style that we're going to be pushing. All right. So we need to create a variable for style. So let's say const style is equal to document dot get element by ID. So let's just grab our ID, which is the control, which is this. So let's just put it inside a div. Let's call it ID of style. Great. Let's just take all these and paste it in. Save it. Just push it to the right. Grab style. Inside our control, say style. Okay. Now let's see what's going to happen. Boom. So now we have it here. Okay, we have it here. But you see the color is a bit white. So let's just change it. So now once it's there, we are no longer going to need this. Okay, we no longer need this. So we just give it a class of b none. Okay, give it a class of b none. Refresh it and let's see if it's going. It's not showing. Let's see if it's going to show here. Okay, it's not showing here too. Okay, so that means it's grabbing the whole of this. All right, so what do we do? Let's keep it. What we're going to do is we are going to do something called, we're going to copy the switch view instead of the style. So let's just use this switch view. Refresh our page. Okay, we have it here, but we don't have it here. Okay, it means it's working. We have the switch view, we have the style. All right, so the style, it's no longer showing. JavaScript has grabbed it from this side and I've put it on this place for us. All right, so let's make it blue. So let's say Uh, BTN primary. Great. So when you click, boom, 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 boom. You see how it switched? Yes, nice. So this is what we wanted to do. Nice works.